This is going to be an interesting one. What's going on, guys? I'm the Philosopher, and today we've got to talk about a very interesting topic. As you guys know, I went to Michigan Masters over the weekend and had a great time, but I wanted to talk about a topic that's not just exclusive to Michigan Masters, but just Street Fighter players in general. And that's this whole entire Cammy white guilt type topic. As you guys know, Cammy got buffed. She's very strong. We saw a lot of Cammy players over at Michigan Masters, but just a lot of Cammy players in general because she's very strong right now. And I have a friend that kind of introduced him to this topic, and I find it very funny that some people feel bad that their character is strong and actually want to switch to a less popular or less strong character. I get it, that makes sense, but I just want to share my 2 cents, and of course this is a conversation, so feel free to share your thoughts if you disagree, if you agree, if you just don't even care. Let me know down below. This is a conversation. But yeah, so Cammy's very strong. She got some buffs during this 3.5 patch, and I found it very interesting that some players don't actually want to play her now because she's so strong. My initial thought to this was that's kind of ridiculous. I completely understand that you feel bad that you're playing a character because you want to win more so based on your merit as a player more than the fact that a character is very strong, or just the fact that that character is being bashed so many times that you just don't want to hear it anymore because you keep hearing, oh, you're playing a high tier character, you're tier whoring, or what have you. And that makes sense, but to the people that are thinking about changing their character just because a character is strong, I have to say that that is not a very wise choice. Now, the reason I say that is because people are always going to have opinions and complain about whatever they think is unfair. The whole rich get rich and the poor get poorer. Everybody has certain privileges and things like that, but if you like something and you're playing that character, it doesn't matter. Even if you are, in fact, tier whoring, it doesn't matter. You have an objective, you want to get that objective, it doesn't matter what anybody else around you thinks. Now, granted, I play a very historically low tier character, but even if this character became the #1 tier character in Street Fighter, I would still play him and not feel a single bit of guilt whatsoever. That's just me, but I feel like this is a very interesting topic and it bounces from character to character, so I just think the wordplay is very great right now and I couldn't resist talking about this. But it's a very relevant topic because it's not exclusive to Street Fighter. It's an issue that's been going on since the beginning of fighting games, characters being OP. Now, I will say there are certain games where characters are just pretty much broken. That means that game is just not very well made, and it's a little bit sad. Back to my main point. People who are choosing to leave a character, specifically. Now, I can understand picking a character because they're strong. Your goal is just to win a tournament or to beat somebody or whatever. That's arguable in some ways, you know, the morals or the ethics or whatever, but at the end of the day, as long as you're not doing anything outside of the realm of rules, personally, I don't think that's a big deal. If you can learn this character and play this character, then more power to you. If you can learn this character and learn to beat this character, even more power to you. I play Fong, and I have no problem fighting against a Cammy whatsoever. I don't fear Cammy even after this buff. So from my perspective, I don't see the big deal. Maybe I just have a character that has the tools to beat this character, but I don't think that's the case because she can get on me very easily, and it's a very hard battle because she has tools to get around my projectiles. So I don't think that's even an excuse. So the main thing that I'm trying to get here is the topic of a limited mindset or not having a growth mindset, something that I've talked about quite a bit on many of my interviews and some of my solo videos. There is this mindset that a lot of people in the FGC have, is that once a character is a certain tier level or certain people start complaining about them that are well known in the community, people get this mob mentality and this limited mindset to where, oh, we can't beat this character no matter what we do. They're too strong. I see it happen all the time. I see people complaining and raging because they think they have this perception that they can't beat a character. If a character is that broken that nobody can beat that character, then that means there's something wrong with the game. And yet, in my experience, I don't have that issue. Even against Abigail, I think that's a beatable character when he was at his prime, not so much since the patch. On the topic of limited mindset, I think that just having that mindset alone, oh, I got something in my eye, God damn, it hurts. So to the topic of a limited mindset, just thinking that you can't beat a character will oftentimes disable you from actually being able to do that thing that you think you can't do. It's something that's very well known within psychology. A lot of my clients have that issue, and that's one of the things that we have to work out of our clients, is actually stopping that mindset and replacing it with something far more productive. Because if you think that you can't do something, more than likely you're not going to be able to do it. A very good example is the 4-minute mile. Roger Bannister, I believe his name is. He was the first person to ever do a 4-minute mile. Before then, nobody thought it was possible. It was just something that could not be done. It was scientifically impossible, but somehow this dude did it. And then you know what happened after that? A bunch more people started beating the 4-minute mile. Now, there were technological advances and things like that, different running techniques that advanced throughout the time, but that would have never happened if nobody actually believed that it was possible. They would have stopped right there and never continued with trying to perform new techniques and bettering technology in order to achieve this physical task. And I think that's very, very common in the FGC and actually just competitive games in general. We think that we can't do something, and whenever someone does, we kind of try to like pull them back down, like, no, that character is too strong, you can't beat that character, they're broken. And I just don't think that's the case. I think there's always a way to work around it. Now, it's not going to be easy, more often than not, because most people can't see it. That means it's probably going to be more of a challenge. But just having that mindset is something that I want to challenge you guys to do. When you hear someone saying that a character is broken and they're too OP, and that might be the case that they're a very strong character, but don't let that stop you in a fight. Next time you're fighting that character that's very strong, think about what's going on during that match. Whenever something bad happens, are you saying that, oh, this character is so strong, this character is broken, how the hell am I supposed to beat this character? Or are you saying something along the lines of, how can I get around that? How can I exploit what this character can do? Because if you have this mindset of just making excuses for your losses because a character is strong or a player is cheap or whatever the reason may be, you're doing yourself a disservice. You are saying that you're losing because of circumstances outside of your control, and more often than not, that's not the case. There are situations where sometimes things are out of your control, but if the game is that broken, then why are you playing it in the first place? I don't think that is the case. Just me. Again, feel free to let me know what you guys think about that. That said, I'm going to end this conversation here. Please feel free to let me know what you guys thought about this topic. It's something that's been boiling within me for like the last couple of years, and I probably will touch on it even more as the years progress, just my commentary on what's going on in the FGC. But yeah, this was just like the highest part, because there were a lot of Cammy players at this tournament. I've seen like a bunch of Cammy mirror matches. I saw people taking pictures of all the setups that had Cammy winning a match. It was crazy, and I get people's frustration, so I'm not trying to downplay that. But as an individual, as a person who's trying to get better, I think it's very important to be careful what you're saying to yourself when you're losing or faced with a challenge. So let me know what you think down below. Of course, like this video if you enjoyed what I said. Consider subscribing if you guys want to see more talks like this and more in the future. And of course, consider supporting me on Patreon, and thank you to the patrons that already are doing so. That said, I will see you guys in the next one.